Thank you for listening to the Tattness podcast on the Tattness Co. Network.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. A Mercedes kind of sentiment, luxury, and trust in me to honor the free we all should be. It sees my sundial burst into yin and yang, right and left me.
What's cracking, you guys? Welcome to the Tattness podcast. My guest today is such a super nice guy and hell of a guitarist, talented as all hell. Played for Adam Ant, among other people, and he's from the UK. And we talk about basically what was popular in the UK at the time that he was breaking into the industry and how he wanted to be different from what was currently played because, as you know, it's like when something trends, you know what I'm saying, it's all you hear. And people have their influences they want to replicate and sound like, while also maintaining their individuality. So Will Crewdson talks about that. Hell of a guy, super nice guy, very interesting cat. And, we had a good talk. We had a good conversation. And then the boss, his cat, let him know it was time to go. Much like my two cats, I know they call the shots around here. It was getting time for the cat to be fed, so we had to cut that short just by a couple minutes. Normally the show's about an hour. We made it just 10 minutes shy of an hour, but great conversation. And you know how it is, man. Pet owners, we all know how that goes. The cats, they tell us what's up. So I hope you dig it, man. He's a really cool guy. Check him out. All right, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm fine. Yeah, thanks.
How's things over there?
Okay. I mean, things are changing every day, like they are everywhere else in the world, really. But everyone's coping. I think. Haven't seen too many people slaughtering each other on the streets about it yet. So, or maybe I just didn't notice.
That's a good start.
Who knows? Yeah. So no, it's all right. Obviously it's a bit weird for me being a musician because no gigs all year, really.
Yeah, that's gonna suck, eh?
Yeah, but hopefully, there's a few lined up next year, so hopefully that'll all happen.
No doubt. I mean, you must be going.
But hope.
Right? You must be going through withdrawals, man.
Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of, but the fact that there's none going on is it kind of helps. You don't feel like you're missing out on anything, I guess.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So it's not you not able to go. It's like literally nothing is going on. So. Yeah,
exactly. And as a musician, you're kind of used to long gaps in between work anyway. So you just kind of ease into that, and it's just lasting a bit longer this time.
It's definitely weird for everybody, I think. And like I'm in Nova Scotia, Canada, right now.
Right. And
I moved here from Toronto. And good thing, man. Toronto, like in Ontario right now, they've got like 700 new cases a day.
Really? Right.
Whereas here, there's none.
Wow.
Here,
right. Okay.
Handled properly. You know what I mean? Over there, they don't care, man. There's too many people that just think the rules don't apply to them, and it's just getting out of hand.
So when you say it's being handled properly, are you under quite more of a lockdown than other areas of Canada, would you say? Or
I think like with the borders, they've kept the borders kind of in East Coast bubbles. So like any provinces that are like connected to us on the east side, you can travel, to and from there. But anything outside of that, it's like you'd have to quarantine and all this. And
right.
Even the gym is like now set to minimal capacity, so that way they've reduced it. You know what I mean? So they only let so many people in at a time. And any stores that are open, it's like you gotta wear your mask and all that crap, and or else you can't go in. And it just seems to work. It's not.
That's good. That's good. It can't be bad, can it? It's just common sense. The way I look at it, it's like people that are complaining about catching it or not catching it or wearing a mask or not. It's like, well, you know, I think people should wear masks anyway because you might catch a cold. I don't want to catch a cold. You know, I don't want to catch anything. If it prevents it in any way, even psychologically prevents it, I think it's a good thing. There's no argument from me, you know.
Right. I mean, you know, and that's what I don't get is people that feel like they can argue with the stores and things like that. And it's like, dude, they're doing their job. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And at this point, it's the law. It's not a policy. You know. So you're arguing with the wrong people. You know. Yeah.
Very true. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, for your type of career, especially, and you know, I've kind of gone on hiatus from mine as an MMA fighter. So it's like, it would have affected me too. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So well, that's involves a lot of people, doesn't it? A lot of people in an enclosed area watching fighting. So yeah.
And once they like brought it back, it was done with like no crowds, and I'll watch it, and it's like, oh, it's so weird because you could hear everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just a bizarre atmosphere to get used to, like hearing like literally every single thing.
Things breaking.
Right, you hear like every footprint, and like, you know, every footstep, and it's like both corners can hear each other's coaching now because there's no crowd drowning it out. So this guy is going to know what your corner is telling you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
you need to get like some ear stuff in and like do it on the quiet, I guess, you know.
Right, because it's giving away the playbook, man. You know, it's just so weird to hear it. But
that is weird.
They're doing what they got to do, right? And you know, it's just strange. I can't imagine doing it without people there. I mean, that's part of the element. You know, that's kind of what keeps you going.
Absolutely.
You know, without it almost feels like a sparring session. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you need obviously it would help you with your adrenaline and everything. You know, it's performing, really, isn't it? You have to have an audience, basically. You know,
exactly.
Simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's definitely a unique situation. Everyone's trying to get used to it. I mean, so, you know, but like you said, for you and your career, you're used to those gaps, and you know, for MMA, it's the same thing. It's like you don't fight every day. You know, a couple times a year you get paid, and that's that, right? You're training every other day. So you know, it is the same thing. It's like, you know, I think people like us, we adapted a little easier to things.
I think so. Yeah. It seems to be that way. You know, maybe one day I'll crack. You know, I'll just be like, you know, go mental. But it hasn't happened yet. You know, and it's been 7 months now. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow. Maybe after this. Who knows?
That I don't know if that would be the first time somebody got off my show and then went on a like massacre spree.
First time for everything, you know.
Can't say I'd blame them.
A lot of publicity out of it, I'm sure, you know.
Hey, no publicity is bad, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You don't read your press, you weigh it.
I'd have to pay you for the advertising.
Oh yeah, but I probably wouldn't need it. I'd be in prison, I think.
Bail money.
Yeah, bail money would be good. Yeah. All right, we'll sort that out. That's giving me even more reason to do it. I don't, you know. No, I'm fine. Yeah. It's cool.
You had a hell of a career, man. It's that must have been a blast. You know, I'm sure you got some experiences that to me that's like what life is, man. And most importantly is experiences, because nobody can take that from you. You know, money comes and goes, and material shit comes and goes, but experiences are just the coolest shit, because it's cool to be able to remember things. No one can take that from you, except Alzheimer's.
No, that's true, actually. Oh yeah, well, yeah. Well, then it doesn't matter, then, does it? You know. Right. But no, you're right. Actually, it's because when you look back on stuff you've done, you don't think, oh, I made a bit out of that. I made a bit out of that. You do think of the actual situations you're in and where you were at the time and all that. So it makes complete sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and at the time, of course, it's a blast too. And, life's so damn short. I think it's awesome that you get to do these things because not many people get to do what they love for a living. And I feel like we're fortunate, man.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it took a long time to get to a position
Yeah.
where I was busy enough, but it was worth the wait.
That's what people
and
don't.
the effort.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what people don't get is they always think it happened overnight. People don't realize like this was not an overnight thing. Like this you put in work, and
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm sure you went through some hard times, in the process pursuing it, whether it's lack of sleep, lack of money, lack of food, whatever, we all go through those struggles just to get where we want to be sometimes. I mean, there's a time I was working 18-hour days and still going to the gym for an hour, sleep for 2 hours, and then go do it all over again.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
Got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
what are you working at? Are you working at the moment, or are you able to just do this? Or
I do this, and I have my own clothing line. So
okay.
Yeah, I got a couple businesses and things like that. I got a network for other shows. So
right.
Yeah, I'm pretty fortunate,
cool.
man, that I get to go to the gym and come home and do this, and go to the studio, do this, and go to work. I'm always booked. Like I'm booked until like November 2nd for shows.
Oh, great! That's great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So,
yeah.
And then there's people that have to go to their 9 to 5 and they hate it, and it's like, man, I remember those days. Don't think I haven't done it.
Oh yeah, same here. Yeah. It's an awful feeling.
It is.
It's a feeling when you don't have to think about it.
It's soul sucking, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To know that you're making someone else rich while they keep you poor, and you're not enjoying yourself. And, it's cool to be able to do what you love. And you never work a day in your life when you're doing what you love, man.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't seem like work.
No, not really.
Never really. Yeah. Especially with the traveling as well. Cause I love traveling, that just feels like you're on holiday and getting paid for it.
Right.
You're in a new place.
That's a blessing too.
Right. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. I always love that aspect of it too, is, imagine like people get pissed because they're like, wow, it must be nice to get paid to travel rather than have to pay, and it's like, well,
yeah.
That comes with the territory. You earned it though,
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand people that, they think that people that reach the level that we're at where we could do what we love, like it was handed to us, or like we had some, special opportunity that wasn't given to them and we just happened to get it offered to us. And it's like, no, you put yourself out there every day.
Yeah. I mean, that does happen, but then quite often it doesn't last, because people just expect everything to come to them and then they don't realize they have to put the work in when they're actually at that point, so I think it's important to build up to it, and then you can appreciate it. Definitely.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it's a shame, honestly, because I know so many talented people that will sit on their couch saying, oh, it'll happen for me one day, it'll happen for me.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Will it? Okay, well, while you sit and wait for it to fall into your lap, I'm going to go make it happen, because I don't know how you expect your talent to be discovered from your couch. If you're not putting it out there, no one's going to see it. You know what I mean? And
absolutely, yeah.
That's a big shame to me, to waste talent like that and not expose it to people. I don't get that. I don't understand why people do that.
Oh, I know. We all know people like that. Yeah. That, especially, it's annoying when people are artistic as well, and they can't get it out to the world. Yeah. Because I mean, sometimes I guess with art and music, you can do it for yourself and be happy to do that, but it does seem like something that should be shared, and that brings us back to the situation we're in now, doesn't it? It's kind of like you can't share concerts or fights or anything, so it's hard to just do stuff for yourself.
Right. Yeah.
But luckily we've got the old internet, so
Well, yeah. I mean, that's easily utilized to kind of put your stuff out there because you never know who's listening to it. You know,
exactly. Yeah.
you never know who's going to stumble upon it.
Yeah. No, I love to use it. Hopefully for what it's good for, you know, rather than the negative side of it. You know, you can get sucked into the negative side of it quite easily, but for actually getting music out there and art, it's just phenomenal, really.
Yeah, the negative side of it's pretty predominant, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, everyone keeps telling me to watch this thing on Netflix. Can't remember what it's called. There's something. It's about the. It's basically about the way the internet's sucking the life out of everyone. I think in general, and I think it's. I wish I remembered the title of it, but I'm going to watch it. I think. Hopefully, it won't be too depressing.
Right. I mean, sometimes the internet in and of itself is depressing. So.
Yeah, can be, especially at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It gets to a point where you kind of just know what to avoid. If you see certain threads of topics, you just know, stay out of the comment section because it's just going to be a free for all.
Oh yeah. It's better to restrain yourself, I think.
Yeah, you know,
sometimes.
I've talked about this time and time again with a lot of people. And we all seem to agree that it doesn't make any sense whatsoever that, you know, there was a thread about Joe Rogan signing his deal with Spotify, and people are arguing back and forth, calling each other all sorts of shit about whether or not he sold out for money or, you know, whether or not they would have done the same and all this crap. And I'm thinking, you know, this is why you guys are broke. Because you're on the internet calling strangers names and fighting over another man's wealth rather than creating your own. Like, worry about yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
How are you going to be broke and fighting with a stranger on the internet that you'll nenever meet in your life over another man's fortune when you don't have anything? You know, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
What's the end goal?
Well, absolutely. Yeah. I guess. And if they're in the same business, it's like they're going to be visibly seen to be like that as well, which is just a negative thing, isn't it? Yeah,
right.
So it's not good.
Yeah. It's weird to me. It's like, you know, if you're not where you want to be in life, maybe your focus should be on that rather than concerning yourself with another dude's bank account. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I don't get it, but
well, you know, most of these people probably wouldn't be able to handle it if it did arrive for them. You know, if they did get that fame, you know, because it's hard enough anyway. Like, you see all these people getting taken down and cancelled, and you know, that's all due to the internet as well, obviously. You know, so
too many opinions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like you said, not enough restraint.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, restraint is a lost art.
Right. That's it, right? Sometimes we need to know when to shut the hell up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's hard though.
Oh yeah, it is. Sometimes something just grabs you the wrong way, and you know, you want to say something, but you're like, what good is it going to do? Everyone's gonna have an opinion on it, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, the only time I ever get involved with any kind of arguing is when I don't think, it's like a knee-jerk reaction. I see something, I'm like, no, that's wrong. Or, you know, it's like, and you just want to put someone straight. So that's what you know, again, we're going back to restraining yourself. You got to think twice before you do that, because you just open yourself up to, it's like a can of worms of abuse, really.
It really
so, especially if it's about politics, or I would never get involved with that. But there's other stuff I would get involved with that you know, the only time I have is literally without thinking. You know, if you just take a second to think about it, it's better to stay out.
Yeah, I've learned that, where, you know, I'm the same way. I'm always like a knee-jerk reaction type of person with certain things, and it got to a point where it's just like, I got to ask myself first, is this your hill to die on? Because if not, leave it alone, you know?
Yeah.
And you're right. Politics, man, I have nothing to do with it. I couldn't be bothered with it.
Nah. But it's amazing how many people will twist things into a political issue. You know, it's just that's the worst thing. You know, and then that's when you get involved with it because you might have triggered them into doing that. You know,
I hate that. That's like literally, you could talk about movies or cartoons or anything, and there's always one. There's always one.
Oh yeah,
that'll comment on it with a political statement, and it's like, really, you know, you can't escape anymore. And it's annoying as hell.
Oh, those trolls are all everywhere, sticking their heads out.
Right, you know.
Ground, you know.
And my view on politics is like, anybody that thinks that either side has your best interest at heart, you're delusional. Because when was the last time anybody got elected that made you wealthy? That's all you. Like, you put in the work, you know.
That's true, yeah.
They're lining their pockets regardless of what side they're on, you know. So what's the point in fighting with people over it? Because that's the plan, is to divide everybody, you know. So it's working. It's working beautifully.
It is. It really is. Yeah. Yeah. Scary stuff.
It's a damn shame, really, you know. But you know, I stay out of those conversations, man. I don't. I have no interest in them whatsoever. It's no win situation as far as I'm concerned, you know.
Yeah. Cool.
But you know, to your point, like, there's so many comment sections that it's so toxic, and it's just what a waste of time, you know what I mean, like, to get involved in it. And you're right, a lot of people wouldn't be able to handle that kind of success either, because their opinions, they don't know how to keep them to themselves. Not to mention, I don't know your experience, but I found immediately as soon as I made it, people come out of the woodwork, man, that are just like, you know, they want something from you. And, you know, it's people you didn't have anything to do with for years, and all of a sudden they're your best friends and all this crap, you know what I mean?
Right.
When you had nothing and you were struggling, where were they, right? But now all of a sudden, you know, it's like, hey, I saw you on this and I saw you on that, and that's really cool. And then hit you with that, life's been kind of tough for me lately. Of course it has, right? You know, here comes the real agenda, right?
Right.
I don't know if you've experienced that at all, but
the only thing I can relate to with that is probably people trying to get into on the guest list, you know, that you haven't heard from for years, you know, and then suddenly it's like, and they always say that same thing. Hopefully nobody's watching this that has said this to me, but they always say that same thing, like, oh, I don't mean to be cheeky, but, you know, and it's like, well, you obviously in your head, you realize you're being cheeky, you know, so it's like, well, you know, it's not the end of the world, you know, it's not a massive bane of my life or anything, but it's kind of funny, you know. That's where I see it, you know, when people kind of want something from you, you know.
Yeah, you know, it's always something, right? And you're right. It's in my experience, if it hasn't been money, then it's who you know, and or, you know, wanting an opportunity. And then the weird thing to me is the people that I try to give an opportunity to that have been trying for years, say it's music or something, and I'm like, hey man, I know those people. I could get you on my show and expose you to millions of people and get your work out there. And they're like, sure. Right. And then you don't hear from them again. And it's like, okay, I only offer once, you know what I mean? And if you're interested, and then you'll see that same person a week later saying, I tried everything and, you know, nothing worked. No, you didn't try it. Because I give you an opportunity and you blew it. I don't know.
Yeah, it does go on a lot, but it's kind of, you just got to kind of rise above it and not really, I mean, obviously if you're going to see the person in the street or something, just like, you just kind of take them for who they are that day. Maybe they had a bad day when they were dealing with you before or something, you know, you just have to, that's the way I look at it anyway, you know. And I'm sure having said about the guest list, I'm sure I've hit ups and downs about getting on guest lists before, so it's kind of hypocritical, you know. But I do make sure I keep in touch with these people in the interim, you know.
Right, exactly. That's the important.
It's when you don't hear from people for years, and then suddenly it's like, oh, you know, that's when it gets a bit weird.
Yeah, and when it happens too often, then it gets really frustrating.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's worse, somebody just coming out and asking you to like handle all their problems, or somebody hinting at it, waiting for you to offer because they know that you're a giving person, and then
Right.
people are taking advantage at this point, you know what I mean, and trying to manipulate you into feeling sorry for them, so then you'll be like, oh, here, take everything I've worked for.
Oh yeah.
I hate
Yeah, I know, yeah. Yeah, you can't tell. I mean, some people are well intentioned, there's nothing behind it, but I guess you have to be open to the fact that they might be conniving.
right,
Whatever.
For some people it
Yeah.
takes a little longer to come out than it does others, but sooner or later,
Yeah.
like I always said, like everybody's different until they're not, you know what I mean? everybody
Yeah.
Everyone gives you that speech of like, oh, I would never ask you for anything, until they do,
Right. Oh,
it's
well, keep these toxic people out.
basically that's
I
why.
guess,
Yep, that's why I keep to
if you
myself.
can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you're considered antisocial, so you can't win.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's quite easy at the moment, though, isn't it? That's the good thing about it.
Yeah, I love it. So
Yeah.
out of your career, what would you say is your best, like your favorite memory of opportunities that you had?
I guess. Well, it's probably like the first time I was in a band called Rachel Stamp quite a long time ago, and we the first time we headlined a really big show in London, really, because that was just it was all. I mean, I play with a lot of quite big people now, but to actually do it yourself with your own music, and I was quite young then, and that was like a major thing, yeah, for me.
I heard about that too. Like you guys did really well,
Well, we did. We had a sort of cult following, kind of, yeah, at the time. But yeah, live we had a pretty big following live, yeah, at one point.
That's awesome too. I mean, that's got to be cool as shit to be that, be young and trying to do what you love doing, and then seeing that people actually care and are getting into it. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. Yeah, but I kind of get the same buzz even playing other people's music, because luckily the people I work with, it's the music I'm into anyway, and it's very influential on the stuff I did before anyway. So. Yeah, it's just as big a buzz, really. But it's that first time, with that first kind of breakthrough where you realise you've got an audience there to see your band. That's always going to be a cool memory, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, people don't realize, and maybe some do, but I think a lot of people don't realize that when it comes to art, like when it's your art, you're pretty protective of it. So you take it very personally when people love it, but you also take it very personally if people shit on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So like, it does mean a lot to see a lot of people really into it, So yeah. I think that's awesome. It's always nice when people start out, because you always have that worry that like, what if nobody cares? Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And when you see that's not the case, it's kind of like that breath of like, oh, thank God,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you don't expect a lot of things that happen. You don't expect. I mean, like just over the last few years, I've played. We played the Albert Hall with Adamant, and just something like that I've never even thought about doing, because it's just kind of like a legendary venue, and it hasn't even been on my bucket list, but actually doing it, you're thinking, wow, that's an accomplishment.
Hell yeah. And I love that,
so,
because that's a humble mindset, man, to not even think that that's ever gonna I had the same type of situation for the most part with a few things, and like recently I was on vacation. I took like a 3-day vacation, went camping, just get away from everything. And I get this text message, and it was a link to the top 50 shows in the world. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I kind of laughed to myself, because Eileen sent it to me. And I thought, okay,
Right.
so Jimmy and them must have been on it. So you're sending me something that I would never even be considered for, busting my balls. All right, cool. I can appreciate that. I laughed about it. And then I opened it and I'm looking, and I was number 10. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I had no idea.
Right.
Never crossed my mind that I was even on their radar for that, so that was cool, again, much like
Nice.
yourself, it never crossed my mind. It wasn't even a goal. It was just like, never even thought anything of it. And here I am, up there with fucking Joe Rogan and shit. I even beat out Howard Stern.
Wow.
Like, how the fuck did that happen?
Excellent. So when are you going to get signed to Spotify then?
Oh, geez. Yeah, I think Rogan kind of fucking ousted everybody on that one.
Yeah. I guess they put it all into that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That deal was crazy. Few hundred
Yeah,
million.
it is.
Oh,
But that's great to get in those charts. That's amazing. Yeah.
yeah, it blew my mind, man.
Very cool.
Pretty grateful for that, especially it caught me off guard. And it was in 2 publications. It was the New York and LA, so I was like, that's nuts, dude. Pretty grateful for that. But much like yourself, again, wasn't my goal. It wasn't something I even considered a possibility. I just do my thing. And here we are, right? So pretty cool.
Absolutely.
I totally understand where you're coming from on that, where it's not like you wouldn't love the opportunity. It's just you don't really think about it, a possibility. But that's the funny thing about success is like you get a lot of weird shit that like catches you off guard that you didn't really anticipate, and it snowballs, right?
Yeah. That's the best thing, really, when it's unexpected. I think that's when you really appreciate it.
Right. And I mean, you've played with so many people that I'm sure there's probably times where you're like, how the hell did that happen? Where you never really thought about it. It's just you get the opportunity one day and it's because you earned it. And it just kind of like, holy shit, you take a step back for a minute, you actually really look at it and you're like, wow, this is something,
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's good to not take it for granted, for sure. Yeah.
I think that's the mistake people make, is the second you take it for granted, it's over.
Absolutely. Yeah. Try not to do that.
Right. People take things for granted, and then that leads to like this sense of entitlement that becomes visible, and that turns everybody off.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, once the humble feelings fade and you're starting to show entitlement, people are like, okay, screw this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to work with people like that,
No, it's very off-putting.
Right. But I mean, shit, not a lot of people can say that they've worked for, or worked with names like you have. That's crazy. I've talked to a couple people that have had that, like Leland Sklar I talked to, and he's played with a lot of people too. And, that's cool. And it gets to a point where it does snowball. And then before you know it, your list is like this long, of people that you work with. And it's just like, it's cool. You have a full career and you get to do what you love. And it is a shame not a lot of people get to say that, but a lot of people don't want to earn it either. So.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. No, you got to earn it. You got to work.
Right.
Luckily, if you're enjoying it, that's the best thing, like we were saying. Yeah.
That's, so important. It's, I think you have to, because you're struggle for it. So you're going to want to make sure that it's really worth it. You know what I mean? If you don't feel like it's worth the struggle, what's the point?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I've always said to people, like, if what you're doing doesn't give you like that nervousness or like butterflies in your gut, then what's the point? What are you even doing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah. No, because then you're just going through the motions, which is not the idea, really. Yeah.
Right.
And people can see that, people can tell that.
Exactly.
I think.
And if there's no risk, there's no reward.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's a good motto.
Yeah, if there's nothing to lose doing it, then there's obviously nothing worth gaining either at the other end of it. So if it doesn't make you nervous, if the idea of failing doesn't make you nervous, then you don't really care about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's good. That's a good motivator, definitely. Yeah.
a lot of people
That's like sorry, go on.
A lot of people do things for the wrong reasons, you know?
Yeah, totally, yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
luckily a lot of people are doing it for the right reasons as well, you know.
thankfully. Yeah, you can always tell,
Yeah.
especially with art.
Yeah.
You can tell. You can tell when it's
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, you can tell when it's a paycheck and when it's actually, you know, genuine.
Yeah. Totally, yeah. When people are phoning it in, you can tell.
Right. It comes across as very mass produced, you know, prepackaged bullshit that we've heard before because it sells. I think that's pretty transparent.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose the good thing about a lot of people being able to do things independently now with the internet and everything, and being able to record independently and put out stuff. I'm just talking about music now, but I suppose the good thing about that is it is kind of, it creates more diversity, you know, so you're less likely to get people copying other stuff, you know, because there's a lot more stuff going on, you know. So I think that's a good thing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm all for people being influenced by other bands and things like that. I mean, of course, it's going to happen. And there's nothing wrong with hearing that influence. But there's a fine line between copying something completely.
That's true.
You know, down to the image and everything else. And, you know, it becomes very disingenuous, I think. It starts to seem like it's following a formula because it works, right? You know?
Yeah. No, I've never done that really. And I think most of the people I've worked with have never done that either, really. They've always just done their own, they've always been kind of single-minded and just wanted to do their own thing and create their own image, create their own style of music, you know. I mean, the band I was talking about, Rachel Stamp, when we came out, it was kind of when all the Britpop stuff was going on, and there was, you know, like Blur and Oasis and all this, and we were just like kind of glam, kind of, you know, we took a lot from bands like T-Rex and the glam stuff and all that, and we were just kind of the antithesis of what was going on, you know. But I think that's why we kind of created a buzz, was because we did our own thing, and that's what we wanted to do, and people could see that, you know, and it was genuine. So yeah,
I love that. I think that's awesome. You know, people want variety, and you know, to offer that is always going to be appreciated. You know what
I think so. Yeah.
You know,
and it's just it's just more original, you know.
Yeah, you know, not to take away from, you know, what was going on at that time, but there comes a point where it's like, okay, that is a saturated market, and you know, people do have other tastes, right, that aren't being catered to. So you know, it's nice when you come across a band that is also into that same genre and is doing it sincerely because they're into it, and not just for the sake of being different, you know, but they literally are so sick of, you know, turning the radio on and just hearing the same shit and not what they want to hear. So they become what they want to hear. I love that. I think that's usually the way.
Yeah, definitely.
It's organic, you know. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, a lot of people start off like that, but then they get into the kind of machine that, you know, where people are expecting them to be a certain way, and they change, you know, over time, and it ends up not being as original as when they started. You know, a few bands have, you know, even bands that I like, that's happened to, you know. But yeah, I think that, you know, the best bands are the ones that stick by their guns, you know, and well, not necessarily the best bands, but the bands that last the longest, you know. I think they just stick to that. Well, not the one formula, but their vision, you know.
Absolutely.
And they don't even think about markets or anything. I don't think, you know, they're just doing what they do. You know?
Oh, absolutely. And I think the labels put a lot of pressure on too to change.
That's it. Yeah.
And a lot of people don't feel comfortable telling the labels to shove it. You know what I mean? And just do what they want.
Oh yeah. It's hard, but that's changing as well. I think, you know, you're because you're not relying on them as much. You know, they don't put as much money into their bands now anyway. So it's kind of like I think it's right that they should get less of a say, and the artists should be more individual and free to do what they want, really.
I agree completely. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your vision. Nobody can decide what your vision is. That's only you really have that clear vision of what you want. And when other people start to kind of throw their hands in it, it's not the same as what you wanted in the first place. How do you feel about the internet, though, with the music industry? I mean, it's a double-edged sword in my view, because it's a great thing that now you have options, so labels don't have as much leverage on the artist. But at the same time, I feel like the downside to that is things get leaked way too much.
That's true, yeah.
If there's things that you wouldn't put out because you don't feel like it best represents your work, and you choose not to release it, and somehow it gets put out there, and then people hear it and they're like, oh, this isn't that great. It's like, well, that's why I wouldn't release it, because it doesn't represent my band, right? And so you hold on to it for a reason, but somehow it leaks out, and then people hear it. I think that's the downside, that, everything comes with a price, I guess, right?
Yeah, I guess so. And it kind of goes back to what we were saying about getting involved with stuff on the internet. We were talking about getting involved with arguments or discussions, heated discussions. You can sort of not think before you do something on the internet as an artist, as someone who's visible to a lot of people. And that can be detrimental, like, I suppose a good example is recently Madonna posted herself in the bath or something. And I'm pretty sure the next day she would have regretted that, because there was so much, it was like hate, it was like, what the is she doing? I don't even know if I'm allowed to say the F-bomb, but
go nuts.
Oh, shall I drop it? What the fuck did I do that for? Oh, that felt good.
Right.
I was restrained. Talking about restraint, I was restraining myself all this time.
Hey man, it's the F-bomb. Uncensored show. Have at her.
Wow. Yeah, I like it. So yeah. That's like a very extreme example of someone that probably didn't really think before they posted something on the internet, and you're getting in. There's I suppose the major problem with people having access to your home life or whatever you want to show them is just the mystique is gone. There's no kind of private life, or because a lot of the time when I grew up, a lot of the pop stars and rock stars, there was another side to them. There was a bit of mystique, a bit of you were intrigued by what you didn't see, but now you just see everything. You can just see people. I mean, you can look at someone's story and they might be tweeting from on the loo or something, in the bathroom. So I just don't know whether that's a good thing. Sometimes I do use it a lot. I do post a lot of stuff. But I try to keep it relevant to the music, or to I've been doing a lot of little videos recently that I've been putting out, editing. And I just try and keep it to that rather than me at home like I am now, I guess. But, it's just tricky, I think. It's just a fine line between showing people too much, I think,
I agree completely. I think there's that right balance where these days you have to kind of, to some degree, stay active on social media. But when you're right, the mystique thing is so spot on, because it is literally a huge change these days from back in the day when you looked at these people like they were larger than life. And now you got them as just they could be your neighbor. It's like, when I went to their concert, they seemed badass, but here they are walking their poodle. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, I know.
I don't need to see that shit.
Yeah. And you just end up if that happened out of the blue, say 20 years ago, it appeared on TV, you'd be like, oh, that's cool, but now, because it's, you just lose interest. You just don't want to, you don't even someone might post something that you love all their songs, but you just don't even want to click, you don't even want to look at it, because it's just it's just, like you say, walking their poodle again. Yeah.
Not good. I agree completely. It ruins everything. It takes you out of it. It's kind of like watching a movie. You don't want to see every effect and how it was done. You just want to watch the damn movie. And suspend your disbelief. And we know at the end of the day, no matter what your profession is, you're a human being. You have your own, like, you do all the same shit everyone else does, but you don't need to emphasize it. You know what I mean? And
true,
put it out there too much, because then it does change things. It changes the perception. You go to a concert now and be like, this used to be so badass, but now I've seen this guy walking his poodle and drinking his chai tea. He's not the fucking hardcore rocker that we thought he was,
Yeah.
The guy does fucking yoga on weekends, like, it kind of kills it for you a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. But I think people feel, especially now, because people are locked up, a lot of, less kind of not on tour or anything, or in the studio as much, and it's just like you are going to see more of their home life because they need to get themselves out there, But I think, like I say, there's got to be a bit of a balance, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with having pets and things like that. I mean, I got a couple cats. I love them, but
my one just walked in the room when you said that. That's weird. Right, Lance? He's hungry, I think. Do you want to say hello? No.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong at all. But, as an MMA fighter, I'm not going to be taking pictures. Mine jump in the camera all the time, and it's like, all right, this is their show now. My podcast.
Well, it's nearly tea time. That's the thing.
Oh, I see.
That's why he's getting interested.
Yeah, I agree completely with all that. There's got to be a balance, and if it's not there, it does kind of deteriorate the mystique of it all, and it takes away that interest where it's, I don't know if it's a psychology thing or what, but it is what it is, man. I mean, I think some people find that balance, other people don't. They oversaturate their social media with too much personal shit. And you're right. I think the belief is there was a time people would really find that fascinating, but now it's so accessible that it's not the same.
Absolutely, yeah. You've seen it once, you've seen it 100 times, You don't need to see it every day.
Right. Well, one more question before I wrap this up, so you can take care of your buddy.
Yeah, I know. He's going to start doing that thing where he prods you.
Right.
A minute and make holes in my t-shirt.
Right.
Yeah, sorry.
Like I said before to people, like, I appreciate my guests' time. I respect their time. I don't want to take too much of it.
That's all right.
Who were your influences, would you say?
Well, actually, I mean, the first band that I ever saw was Adam and the Ants, and now I play with Adam Ant, so he was a major influence, actually. But a lot of electronic bands in the 80s, Depeche Mode, Cabaret Voltaire, but then I love a lot of American rock as well. I love Aerosmith, So, I like to mix it all up when I do my own thing, because I've got a solo thing I do, and that's very electronic, but there's also a lot of guitars on it. So, I like dance music as well. I like industrial dance music and stuff like that.
Man, a dude after my own heart. I love 80s stuff, man.
Yeah, cool.
Everyone you mentioned.
It was a good decade.
Yeah, man.
Oh, cool.
So that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. That was awesome.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime, dude. Well, you're welcome to come back anytime. It was awesome. And
cool.
It's cool to see your buddy there too. I got two, but I think they're sleeping.
Oh, okay. All right. It's not tea time there yet.
Not yet. It's only
okay.
It's almost 2 p.m. here, so.
Oh yeah, they'll be sleeping. He would be if it was 2 then here. Oh, that's cool. Thanks a lot for having me. Anyway, it's very cool.
It was an honor. Absolutely, it was an honor. Thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for your time.
Nice one.
Have a good one, bro.
Okay.
So that was Will Crewdson. That dude, hey man, it was an honor talking to him. He's such a really nice guy, and we had a lot that we agreed on. And he's just a fascinating dude, I found. And just really genuine, really nice. I like that, man. In this industry, sometimes you come across some people that are a little bit into themselves too much and have an attitude for no reason. And thankfully, none of my guests are like that. But it's always nice when, you know, you keep that streak going of really, really cool guests that are down to earth, chill people. You know, like I said, at the end of the day, we're all just people with cool jobs, man. So when you talk to people that feel that way, I love it. I appreciate y'all, man, checking out the show. And it's officially October, so you know what that means. As of now, it's horror all the way. These are just September shows getting caught up. So it's October now, man. Now that you're listening to this, it's officially October 1st, and it is time to get creepy, bro. So I hope you dig the guests coming up, because there's a whole slew of them. CJ Graham, I've got Dig Fairs from the Rob Zombie Halloween, young Michael Myers coming on. I've got his mom coming on later on in the month that does a lot of horror flicks herself. I've got people from all over, man. Even someone from People Under the Stairs, if you remember that gym. So that'll be cool, man. Jan Birch, the Stairmaster himself, will be on my show. And among other people, lots of people. So, oh, and get this, for y'all that didn't know, I'm actually friends with Sandy Johnson, who was not only a Playboy Playmate, but she was Judith Myers in 1978 in Halloween, the original movie, the Carpenter movie. So that was cool, man. She's a sweetheart. I'm hoping to get her on the show, but she's super busy. But we'll see how things go, man. Anyways, I'll catch your asses later. Get ready for October. Get ready to have some cool stories, man, because there's going to be a lot of ghost hunters and horror actors and actresses and things of that nature on the show. It's going to be a creepy month. I love it. I don't know about y'all, but I dig Halloween the most. Anyways, man, I'll catch y'all later.
I will not speak to your smallness, a destruction of the fear in us. I have yet to know what I should